We've got Jake Reeve here. Jake's 9. He's from Bexley Heath. And this is a question for all three of you. So he says, I love playing both football and cricket. Did you play different sports? And how did you know that cricket was the sport for you? Sammy, how did you know that? Did you play different sports when you were growing up? And how did you know you wanted to be a cricketer?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of my big things growing up. I was always playing all different sports. I played golf, hockey, a bit of rugby, a bit of everything. Obviously, Tom being my brother and my middle brother Ben, we're always in the back garden playing a lot of sport and always arguing and being very competitive with each other and things like that. But I think I knew cricket was still my favorite from probably maybe 12, 13, but I still managed to play all different sports. But probably when I got to about 16, that's when I realized cricket was probably my best. So I decided to choose cricket, but I've always been a very cricketing background. So it was always my number one.
Ollie, what about you, mate? I know that you were quite a good footballer, weren't you, when you were a teenager?
Obviously, definitely better than Sam. I tell you that. But no, similar. I played all sports, and yeah, we play a lot of golf now as a team. When we're not on the cricket pitch, yeah, we'll probably be playing some golf. But yeah, back in the day, just gave it a good crack at everything, really. And then I guess cricket just ended up being my strongest suit, so pursued that, and then stopped playing the other sports sort of at 16, 17 as much, and yeah, started putting more of a focus on cricket at that age. But yeah, no, for the childhood, I loved just playing every sport I could, really.
And what would you, if you could be professional any sport, what would you choose? Cricket or would you go something else?
Being a footballer would be pretty cool as well, but nah, I think we're all happy being cricketers. But
it's a pity Pope supports Arsenal, so Arsenal fans sums them up. So just happy with coming forth every year.
I could sneak into that side at the moment.
Yeah. And Tom, what about you? You obviously were playing with Sammy in that garden. When did you realise cricket was for you?
Yeah, similar. I mean, it's always been number one. For me, golf also should be right up there. I should have probably pursued my career on the course, striking it well. So, yeah, golf's quality. We play a lot of golf. Try and play a lot of golf. A lot of money won off these two. So, yeah, but likewise, I think it's important, especially growing up, get involved in all sports, play everything you can. That'll only benefit your cricket, I think, all ball sports. And then obviously when you get a bit older, you can sort of narrow down on cricket if that's what you want to do. But while you're young and, at school and everything, I'd just say play everything, get involved and enjoy.
Great. Okay, guys. Next question. We've got 2 questions here. One especially for Sammy, and then the other one I think we can offer out to anyone. So I think I've seen you all do it. This is from Amrit Gupta. Amrit's 10, and he's from West Malling. Sammy, Amrit wants to know: is being an opener for Chennai Super Kings better than being lower down the order?
Yeah. Well, I think any Tom and Popey will agree as well. I think in T20 cricket, opening the batting is definitely the most fun to bat because you probably only got 2 fielders on the boundaries, so it's a lot easier to hit boundaries. And I probably, as my career has gone on, spent more time in the middle order. So it was great fun to go up the top, but I only got given that for a couple of 3 games, and then I got snuck back down to the middle order. So but it was great fun. And yeah, I think any of you guys who are aspiring batsmen, I definitely tell your coaches and your parents to make sure you open the batting because it's definitely the best place to bat in white ball.
Okay, and Sammy, you can go first on the next one of Amrit's 2 questions. He said, what is a good technique to hit a Yorker for 4 or 6?
Well, I think Popey has actually mastered that one. I would say a scoop shot's pretty good. If you've seen many nights at the Oval, Popey plays the ramp really well. Joss Butler plays it really well. But I think a nice, strong, solid base. That's what all the coaches tell us. But a York is very difficult to hit for boundary if the bowler gets it right up there under your bat. So I think getting a nice, strong base and just swinging hard and hoping for the best.
Yeah, Popey, take us through it. What's your process when you're there? Sold out back in the day, sold when we were able to have fans in, sold out at the Kia Oval, and you're just you're ramping and flipping and scooping all over the place.
Yeah, it's. I think that's the best way to try hit a Yorker for a boundary is probably if you're scooping or reverse scooping. And if third man and fine leg are up, that's probably your best bet if the bowler's bowling that perfect Yorker. But yeah, then if not, if they've been missing their Yorker, like Sam said, getting a strong base, stay nice and still, and just swing and see how far it can go.
Tommy,
when you like Popey, when we bat together at the death, he hugs the strike as well. So that's the best way to master death batting, is to take as many balls as possible.
Tommy, you're obviously in both situations, similar to Sam as well. You're able to bowl all those Yorkers, and sometimes I can see you there double teapot after you have been dispatched before. But then also you're capable of hitting those balls to the boundary yourself as well. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, similar. I mean, obviously, bowled batting and sort of the scoop, you're obviously premeditating it. So, I mean, that's a sort of pot luck really. But if you have a strong base and it's a good Yorker, yeah, opening up the face and just trying to spray it square of the wicket. Yeah, if you can't get it on the full or turn it into a sort of a half volley, that's probably the best option. Open up the face and just get the bat speed through it and spray it past point for full.
And Tommy, in terms of some of the bowlers, some of the batsmen that you bowled to at the death over the years, give me the top three guys that you think are going to be hitting you behind the wicket, playing those scoops, and even if you do nail your Yorker, you might still be in trouble. Who are the top three guys there that you don't want at the other end?
Well, I mean, it's the worst guys to bowl to at the death are more the sort of the bigger, stronger guys who can actually still toe the hit. When they're towing balls for six. So like guys like Russell, Pollard, Dhoni, those sorts of guys, they're always really hard to. They're powerful, so even their mishits are going for six on a lot of the small grounds. But I mean, I don't know, someone like AB de Villiers is a great example. He sort of opens up the face and sprays it. I mean, he hits 360 degrees, but yeah, he's a good example for that. Joss as well. If you watch Joss when he plays, hits Yorkers, you'll see his bat comes down like real sort of open face, and the ball goes like a fade on the golf course. So that's the shape you want, I reckon, if you're trying to hit at the end. Little power fade into rose head.
The power fade into rose head, yeah. I think we all aspire to that one. Now, what we've just been...
Bad signal in the kitchen there, John. Get back to the router.
Yeah, the Kia Oval cutting costs.
Who wants to host? Sam, you host.
Right. Why has no one got their videos on? I feel like we're talking to just random. I don't know what's going on. Looks like Alf's a future Surrey player with that haircut. Strong fade, short back and sides.
He's got you on mute. No interest.
Popey, answer that question there. Your favorite shots?
My favorite shots are red ball cricket, probably a classic cover drive. White ball, just a slog and try hit it into rose head and probably get caught.
So right. It's struggling there, mate.
I'm back, guys. I'm back. My little bit of creativity.
Mate, you've got a new host. Do you mind just muting yourself and taking a step?
Sam's new host.
I'm sorry about that. My little bit of creativity, the signal strength didn't back it up there. Did anyone? I was trying to show you the nice picture of Popey that's on the wall just below my office, of him playing one of those shots. But maybe the signal...
Oval turned off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I thought the Wi-Fi in this ground was good enough to walk wherever you want, but I guess not. So I'll stay put. Guys, we're going to move on to another question. This one especially for you, Popey. This is from Kai Barker. Kai's 11, and they're from Cranley. Not dissimilar to yourself. They say, what's the best way to practice on my own over the winter? So you've had a lot of experience with this over the years. What's the best way for someone to practice on their own over the winter?
It's obviously batting on your own is pretty tough when you've got no one to throw at you. But I think there's actually an example on Sam's Instagram where I think in lockdown he did it where he can tie a ball into a sock and then tie it down with a string and just practice your technique on that, which is a good way to go. But yeah, when there's no one throwing balls at you, it's difficult. I guess just trying to work on your technique, whether it's shadow batting or even your reactions as well. So I think that's always a good way to go. But yeah, ideally try and get someone to throw at you if you can. It makes life a little bit easier.
What about watching cricket over the winter? Did you do a lot of that when you were younger? Did you when you weren't able to get out there and play, but you could sit there and watch when England were on tour or IPL, BBL, whatever? Yeah, do you gain a lot from watching those games?
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, if there's players you want to play like, and there's guys who you see yourself who you want to be like, then it's great to watch those guys and how they, as a batter, how they put together their innings and the tempo they play at and the technique they use to face quick bowling and spin bowling and things like that. So I think you can learn a lot from the Sky cameras. There's always cricket on at the moment as well, so it's great. There's always someone to learn off.
Okay, great. We'll move on to another question now. Two questions here from Alex Allsop. Alex is 13 from Loughton. Interested cricket. Obviously, one of the great things about cricket we all love. Lucky enough to work in the game for me, or obviously play the game like you guys. It's a really social game, and you get to spend a lot of time with people, and you make really deep, lifelong friendships. It's a wonderful thing. Ollie, Alex wants to know, who is your best mate in the England squad?
Best mate in the England squad. We're lucky. We've got quite a few young lads at the moment. I haven't played with Tom yet in the white ball stuff, but I've played a bit now with Sam, which is great, and obviously been playing with him since I was sort of 15, 16 years old. And then we've got a few other young lads like Sibley, Dom Bess, Zach Crawley. These guys I've played with for a long time, but it's probably Sam's up there on his good day when he's not in too much of a grump.
Cheers, mate.
That's sweet, you guys. That's sweet. And question for both Tom and Sam. Alex wants to know, who are your best mates in the IPL?
Well, obviously, my team is pretty lucky. We got quite a few English guys. Obviously, Stokesy, Joss, Jofra, Davey Miller's here as well. AJ Ty. Davey Miller's a great guy, and obviously spending time with Joss and Joss's family are here. So for me, it has a pretty homely feel set up here, which is really nice. Sam's the youngest by about 25 years in the Chennai squad, so he's got no friends.
Sammy, who are your best mates at CSK?
Same as Tom said. Obviously, they've got an England feel, but he has been quite interesting playing with a lot of foreigners in terms of like Faf du Plessis, Shane Watson, these kind of guys. It's been great for me in terms of just picking their brains because they're such like international stars. So I'm just hanging out with them and Mitch Santner is a good guy. Josh Hazelwood, Aussie, we're enemies on the pitch, but seemed like a decent fella off it. So yeah, it's been good, but it's just been a great learning.
Great. Okay. Next question comes from Victoria. Victoria's 14. She's from London. This is for you, Sammy. Victoria says, having watched you play for both Chennai Super Kings and Kings 11 Punjab in the IPL, you've obviously played alongside numerous international superstars. So which of those superstars do you think would fit best at Surrey?
Wow, there's been a few. There's quite a lot of big names out here. So I reckon wouldn't mind maybe having someone like MS Dhoni at Surrey or someone like that, or obviously in England you don't see the Indian players much in the T20 Blast. So it's been great to learn from them. Obviously, all the kind of guys. I reckon Jofra wouldn't be too bad to have at Surrey, even though he's an England player. Hopefully, Surrey can get him one day from Sussex. It's been good. There's so many big names, but maybe that would probably be my top two.
Archer and two Currans bowling the T20 Blast would be something else, wouldn't it? That would be a blockbuster.
That would be nice.
Right, we've got a question here. Mia's 9, and she's from Crawley, and we've sort of covered this a little bit, but we'll go maybe on the second part of Mia's question. Mia says, "What made you want to play cricket, and who inspired you? We'll go with you first, Tom.
Well, like Sam sort of touched on earlier, it had always been cricket for us growing up. Obviously, our dad played and 3 brothers, so we played a lot growing up. So, yeah, it was always just, you played at school for the enjoyment and the love of the game, really. And only when you sort of get a bit older does it become a bit more, sort of serious, and obviously becomes your job, which is great. But yeah, when we started, it was just for the enjoyment and the love of the game.
Ollie, what about you? Who inspired you to pick up a ball for the first time?
It's quite hard to, I guess, put a name on it. I guess Dad's the first memory is just playing with Dad in the backyard. And yeah, I think cricket's one of those sports. Unlike a few others where it's very individual, like golf and tennis. I think that's why I also love cricket as well, because you're playing with mates, and then there's it's an amazing feeling when you do win a big game or a close game together. It's and you win as a team rather than just the individual, because everyone's sort of as happy and buzzing as each other. So that's probably what sort of the main attraction was for me as well. Is that sort of team sport as well. I think it's good fun.
If you were a golfer, you'd be looking forward to the Ryder Cup every year, would you? Every other year.
Yeah, exactly. Probably win it as well.
Yeah, and Sammy, obviously similar, I imagine, to what Tom was saying. But anything to add there?
Yeah, exactly. Similar to what Tom said, but I think, yeah, you just got to keep enjoying it. It's especially at Surrey, the age group stuff, you make a lot of mates, and you generally tend to play all the age groups through with each other. So, yeah, just keep enjoying it, and yeah, don't take it too seriously. Rather enjoy it rather than keep fighting it.
We got one here now from Nathan Staples. Nathan's 12, and he's from Sevenoaks. Ollie, question for you first. He says, do you get nervous when you're going out to bat? And if so, how do you deal with your nerves?
Yeah, I think everyone who goes out to bat in a big game or on a big stage does get nervous. I think everyone just deals with it in a slightly different way. Whether it's walking out for Surrey or walking out for England to go and bat, I do get nervous, and I'm sure Sam and Tom would probably say the same thing. And dealing with the nerve, I don't think nerves are a good thing. You can't. I think they help me play better. They help me stay switched on. So when I do get nervous, I don't see it as a bad thing, and it doesn't. In my mind, I know that this is good. If I'm nervous, I'm in a good place, and knowing that helps me sort of walk out with that confidence. Obviously, as a batter, you have as many bad days as you have good days, really. I guess unless you're sort of Steve Smith or Virat Kohli, but you need to sort of try and learn how to deal with those failures, and that might help the easing the nerves a little bit as well. But yeah, I do get nervous, and it's just once you're out there, once you're out in the middle, things are fine. I think the most nervous bit is when you're waiting to bat and you're watching on, and yeah, that's probably the more nervous than actually being out there in the middle. So, but yeah, I see it as a real positive.
I know you said, Ollie, that Steve Smith and Virat Kohli don't have many bad days, but it does make it all the more enjoyable when they do have one against England.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. That always helps the side.
Right, Tom. Question for you. Also, this is Nathan Staples still from Sevenoaks. He says, how do you know when to use a slower ball to vary your bowling?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think you just read the game. Obviously, the more you play, you'll start to get a lot better understanding of what works for you and when bowling it is a good time. Obviously, on how the batsman's playing and how the innings is going, we'll predict what you're going to bowl a lot of the time. If a batsman's coming really hard, or you have a gut feel he's gonna try and hit you out the park, and you think a slower ball is a good option, then yeah, it'll work, and you'll sort of just get a little feel for it. So yeah, just try. I guess the more you play, you'll get a lot better understanding, and yeah, get better at predicting when a good time to bowl is. I still get a lot of the times wrong, so I guess it's something you're always just trying to improve and learn.
Guys, make sure you're looking at that chat room there. I think there's a bit of flying between Sam and in that chat room. So if you've got any questions, do put it in there. We'll come to them in a minute once we've asked everyone's questions that sent them in over the last week. But yeah, guys, if you do see anything in there, feel free just to go back to people directly and, as I say, continue winding each other up in there. Okay, we got now a question from Grace. Grace is 10. She's from Egham. And Grace says, if you get time at home, do you ever go and watch your local cricket club? Sammy, you're a Weybridge boy, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. So me and Tom play at Weybridge. We live our family home is about 15 minutes from there. So get down there as much as we can. It's a really nice club. I don't know, maybe some guys in this chat are Weybridge juniors, but yeah, it's a great club, and club cricket's great. Go down on a Saturday and have some lunch watching the guys, and yeah, get down as much as we can. But enjoying the season, it's quite difficult. But I don't know who Popey plays for. He's one of those guys, a bit like he always moves clubs. So he started at Cranley, then Guildford, then he's gone back to Cranley. Maybe he's gone to Egham next. Who knows?
Egham. No.
Popey, you got to respond to that, Popey. What do you say?
No, I've played for Cranley more than Sam's played for Weybridge. Had a few years. Actually, I spent a long time at Guildford, and then moved back a few years ago to Cranley because a lot of my mates play there. So similar. When we do get a weekend off, which if you're not injured and you're not diving on your shoulder in silly ways, then we don't normally have that much time off. But when we do, yeah, it's nice to pop down and see the lads playing on a weekend.
Great. Okay. Now this one is from Freddie Tinworth. Freddie's 10, and he is a player at Spencer. And he's got a question here. This is for you, Ollie. Freddie says, I'm practicing being an opener and I'm a spin bowler. And then he's put in brackets, sometimes I get frustrated. I'm sure no one who's ever played cricket understands what he means. But he says, what should I work on? Practicing being an opener and a spin bowler. What should he work on?
What should you work on? It? Assume he means opening batter.
Yeah, opening batter and a spin bowler, yeah.
Yeah. I guess when at a young age, it's just trying to get a real good basic foundation, a good solid technique that can allow you to play a lot of different situations well. So, for example, you look at the best players in the world; they've all got a really good technique and good defense, but that allows them to play all formats of the game. So you see these guys like Joe Root and Virat Kohli, like I said, and they've got a great technique, but they're amazing at Test cricket, one day cricket, T20 cricket as well. So I think if you've got that solid technique, you get a nice stride, your head's in a good position, then that'll allow you just to be successful in it, whether you want to block it or whack it. I think that'll help everything. So yeah, if you gain that real good basic technique to start with, I think that will put you in good stead.
And then Sammy, Freddie's got a little, not so much a question, but he wants me to say that his dad lets him stay up late to watch the IPL, and he's enjoyed watching you open the batting for CSK. So there you go. You got a fan of your opening.
Thank you.
Have a word with Stewie, Freddie. Let's see if we can get Sammy up the top next summer.
We need to. Me and Popey up top.
Guys, this is a question for Tom and Sam. This is from Xavier Memon. Xavier's 11. Apologies if I've mispronounced your surname there, Xavier. He is 11. He's from Croydon. Now, I remember one particular game a few years ago when I think you both got 5 wickets in the innings, and it was every single wicket in the innings was bowled Curran. But Xavier wants to ask, how many wickets have you two gotten together?
Yeah. I don't know quite. I know, yeah, that was a great game. I remember that against Northampton. That's still one of the career highlights, definitely. Bowling them out and getting all 10 wickets between us. Yeah, I think we bowled a few times together for England as well. A few T20s we got, but sort of T20, you never really nestle into a spell from both ends. You're sort of one over here, one over there. But we have had a few. I'm trying to think, Sam, what other games? Played a couple of one-day games.
Yeah, I think it's all, obviously we take wickets together and stuff, but obviously when you win games, it's really exciting. But yeah, that game, I think I only got about 2 wickets in that game. Tom got about 8. So I was just looked good, but I didn't do much of the work. So it was all good. Took the credit.
Happy days. Okay, Tom, I've got another question for you. This is from George Jowett. George is 13 and he's from France, which is unexpected but cool. George wants to ask you, if you didn't play cricket, what other sport would you play? I know we sort of touched on this earlier, but if you didn't play cricket and you could choose any other sport, what would it be?
If I could choose any other sport, okay. I mean, if I were to go 3 other sports, I would say F1 driver would be up there. I think they've got a pretty good life, with some pretty cool cities, and yeah, they have some fun. So F1 driver, maybe golf would be up there as well as a number 2, and then change it up, go real left field, and say, I don't know, NFL, quarterback in the NFL, dominating.
Quarterback in the NFL. Wow. Tommy, I had you down as a WWE wrestler, mate. Is that not of it?
Maybe post-career, that one.
Post-career. Okay, cool. I see Stokesy's had a little go at that in the past. Maybe you can get some tips off him before the IPL's over. All
right, I will do.
And this is the final question of the ones that have been sent in. I'll get into the chat room in a minute. This is from Ollie White. Ollie's 6, and he's from Horsley, and he's asking a question to his namesake, Ollie Pope. He says, Ollie, what are your bowling figures?
What are my bowling figures? Yeah, not very good. I don't think I've never bowled for Surrey. I've never bowled in a professional game. I picked up a county fifer when I was 10 years old against Warwickshire, which is probably the highlight of my career. I think I've still got the ball framed somewhere. So, but no, I haven't bowled in a few years now, and I don't think I should, because I'm not as good as Sam and Tom. I think you guys are probably all better bowlers than me.
But guys, there is definitely something special, isn't there, about the moment when a batsman takes a wicket? I remember. Who wants to tell the story about when Burnsy got his wicket the other year?
I don't think I played that game.
Did you not play that game?
Yeah, I think he came on and it was a pretty dead game, and he got cook out, didn't he?
He hasn't stopped talking about it.
Yeah,
I didn't play it.
Yeah, correct. No. Haven't heard the end of it.
Right. Okay. We'll have a look in the chat room now. What have we got? What have we got in here? So, right. Krista Masters. This is a question for you, Tommy. She says, Tom, what is your favourite game of the BBL last year?
BBL is obviously great fun. We played a game in at the SCG, so the Sydney Derby, against Sydney Thunder, which went down to a super over, which was definitely the highlight. It's up there with one of the best games I've been a part of. I batted in the super over because I batted just to help get us to the score, but then I got out first ball, the super over, which wasn't ideal, and then bowled the super over, which we managed to win. So that's definitely the best game.
That's pretty special. Well, yeah, it's the old Surrey player, sadly now at Sussex, Chris Jordan, who's turning out to be the modern master of the super over, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He's done well. Done very well.
Okay, we talked about getting Joffrey back. Maybe we can get CJ back one day. That'd be good. This is a question from Freddie. Freddie, this is for you, Ollie. He says, Ollie, what is your favourite team in the IPL? Now you got to choose carefully here, boy.
I'll go neutral. I'll go RCB because they've got De Villiers, and he's probably my favourite player.
RCB,
followed by CSK and Rajasthan, because the Currans are my second favourite players.
There you go, RCB. You got a big name fan there, RCB. Okay, this is from Kai Barker. This is a question for you again, Ollie. Kai says, Ollie, how did it feel to get your maiden Test 100 against South Africa alongside Ben Stokes?
Yeah, it was very special. It was a very nice feeling. But yeah, I was batting with Sam actually just before, and Sam decided to get out just before I got my 100. So that was a pretty selfish.
Bored of batting with Pope. I was falling asleep.
He got caught on the boundary shock. He's not strong enough to clear the ropes. But no, it was very special feeling. Yeah, hopefully in my career I can get a couple more.
Kai, another question from Kai. Came in with two. This is for you, Sammy. Kai wonders, Sam, who is your favourite batter to bowl against?
I think in the nets, I love bowling at Popey because quite easy wicket. Just Popey hates batting in the nets. My favourite bowler to, well, anyone I get out. I think anyone who hits me for six, I don't enjoy. But yeah, that's how I'd probably say, and Tom as well. Bowled to Tom. That's Rajasthan. He nicked one for four, but nearly got him.
Okay, let's go back into the chat room, guys. If you got any more questions, we'll be finishing up relatively soon because these guys have got places to go. But if you got questions, do hit them in there. Here we go. This is from Sam Curran. He says, "I love getting Ollie out in the nets." Ollie Pope says, "Never happens." Another question from Kai. Kai says, "Ollie, if you could play in the IPL, who would you play for? Would you go RCB again or someone different?"
Yeah, I'd probably say RCB. I need to get picked at first, but yeah, just learn off those couple of the best batters in the world. Like I said, Kohli and AB de Villiers, great batters to learn off. So that'd be pretty cool to play with them. So yeah, I'd probably choose them.
Not a bad 3, 4, 5, is it? Kohli, de Villiers, Pope. As far as that goes, that's all right.
Yeah, they're lucky guys.
Another question from Sam Curran. Sam's in Dubai. Sam says, "Ollie, please show everyone Jackson."
Boy, Jackson's in the other room. I can't show him. You ask another question, I'll bring him in a sec.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay. What have we got here? Another question from Kai. Tom and Sam both have a go at this. He says, "How would you?" This is a very quite the question. We're really based on somebody who wants to play the game. He says, "What have you got any tips? How would you pick a good new bat? What do you need to look for to know a bat's going to be good for you?"
I mean, just the classic, really. Look at the grain, look at the weight. I like personally a little bow, so see if it's a good thickness throughout. And then here he is, the main show.
There he is.
Oh, guys, Jackson.
Wait, one sec. Hey, show yourself, mate. There he is.
Aww.
So sweet.
Look at that.
He's going to meet Simba hopefully soon.
Absolutely.
Wow. Jackson Pope sounds like a country singer.
Good boy.
And then the most important thing really is just the feel. You don't want it too heavy. So if it feels nice pickup, not too heavy. That's the most important thing, I think.
Sam, you got anything to add there? Do you prefer like guys like in Surrey's recent past, guys like Ali Brown or whatever have liked really big, heavy bats? What about you? What kind of do you prefer? Sort of light or a tree trunk?
I use very, very light bats. I find I really enjoy using a light bat. It's always very personal preference. I use a very thin handle as well. Take the string off my bats, like small things like that. It's all about what feels comfortable in the hands when you're facing up. There's nothing worse than going out to bat with. If you think a bat's really heavy and you're not, it's all about feeling comfortable when you're batting. So I know Popey uses GM. GM's a really good bat. Adidas good bats. They're all pretty good bats, but Grey Nichols is very popular as well. So I'm sure a few of you guys might have some of those bats. What bats does everyone use?
Yeah, put in the chat room. Let us know what bats you're using. Popey, question for you as well. Just on the bats, are you superstitious around bats at all? Do you have any? Do you have a favourite bat that you like to use that maybe you gutted when it broke or anything, or does it not matter to you? You'll just pick and choose whatever.
I think GM are pretty good at sending all the bats that I get sent are pretty nice. But I think when you do score runs with one bat, then it make you automatically like the feel of it. All bats feel slightly different in your hands. So I think if you do bat for a long time with one bat, then you end up just really liking that bat, and you want your other bats to feel like that. So I like them slightly lighter as well. but with a slightly thicker handle too. So, but everyone's very different. Everyone's got their own theories on what makes a good bat. It's quite funny in the changing room.
What's happened to your bat from South Africa? Do you still use that, or has that been?
Yeah, I'm still using that. That one's still hanging on. A bit of love's been given to it, a bit of glue in the toe and stuff like that. But it's on its last legs, unfortunately. Though.
Yeah, that'll be good for a frame one day, I reckon, won't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look back in the chat here. Oh, so Sammy, to answer your question, we've got M&H. We've got a couple of Salixes here. Yeah, we've got a GM user, Kookaburra. So yeah, there's a few going around there. There's a nice variety of different bats that people are using. Nice variation. Right, here we go. Matt Jowett. Matt. Oh, this is maybe someone using their parents' account. This just says, "My name is Harry. I'm 10 and I live in Paris." And we'll go one from each of you here. Harry wonders, what are your favourite cricket shots? Sammy, what's your favourite shot?
I'd probably say a nice cover drive always feels good when you get it away for 4.
Nice. Popey, you're not allowed to cover. Sammy's had that. Come up, you've got to cut something else.
Pull shot against the quick bowler's nice. When it goes for 4, they want to try hit you on the head, but if it goes for 4, it makes it a bit nicer.
Well played, mate.
Yeah, you bowl a bit quicker and I'll stop pulling you.
Tees, you're not allowed the cover drive, you're not allowed the pull shot. What have you got?
Yeah, anything that goes for 6 is a nice shot, I reckon.
All looks the same in the book, eh?
That's it.
Right, okay, let's go back into the chat room, and we've got a question. Ollie Pope in Surrey is telling people that Sam's favourite shot is the leave. That's he didn't come up with that when he went for the cover drive.
I wish it was, because then I wouldn't nick it.
Mia says, and again, you can all talk about this because you've all done it this summer. What's it like playing in an empty stadium? Tees, you go first on this one. What's it like playing in an empty stadium?
Yeah, it's odd. It's very weird. It's strange. It's a strange feeling. Obviously, yeah, it takes you back to some of your school days, but even then, there's probably bigger crowds, or there is bigger crowds than what we're playing with now. It's very quiet. Yeah, it's a lot better playing in front of fans. That's for sure.
Ollie, how did you find it this summer? How did you find the bubbles?
Yeah, the bubbles were okay. They're pretty repetitive days. You sort of do your training and then get back in your room and end up playing a fair bit of Xbox. But yeah, they were okay though. The hotels were nice enough, and but then it was a bit ideally not playing in front of empty crowds. Hopefully next year, because it does get a bit boring when you're out in the outfield and there's no atmosphere. But it's obviously had to be done though, so it'd be nice to get the crowds back in there. Did you have a favourite? Did you prefer Southampton or Manchester at all, or was it much of a muchness for you? Southampton's probably a nicer hotel. Manchester. Yeah, Southampton I'll go with. I couldn't score a run there though. Oh. And Sammy, what's it like for you at IPL? Obviously, you've experienced IPL in India with huge crazy crowds, and now you're out in Dubai with no one. What's it? I mean, obviously the difference must be massive.
Yeah, it is. But IPL have been very good. They put this like virtual noise. I'm sure you guys watching the football when you hit like a boundary or take a wicket, there's a big noise that comes up. It's quite realistic, as good as it can be. But I think the main thing is now we just got to be patient and hope there's a vaccine or something soon. But we've just got on with it. We're very lucky to be playing cricket, and I'm sure everyone's happy to be watching on their TV screens.
Last couple of questions, guys, before we let you get off. Henry's 12. He's from Hertfordshire. This is for Tom and Sam. He says, how, and let's ask for the first time, because you've both done it a few times now, but he says, how did you react when you got picked in the IPL auction for the first time? How did you react, Sammy?
Just very happy and just very happy and very excited. IPL is obviously the biggest T20 tournament, so yeah, just really enjoyed.
Must have been pretty different for you, Sammy. But yeah, Tom,
Heavy
your first
wallet.
IPL must have been a big moment for you.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. I remember, I think the first time I went a few years ago, I actually went to the replacement. So I wasn't actually in the auction, but it was same sort of thing. You know, you watch IPL, you want to be a part of it. So it was a good feeling.
Okay, last one. Let me just hang on. I'm just Kai Barker back again. Ollie, just a quick one for you. Who is the hardest bowler you faced? Who don't you want to see at the other end?
I think Bumrah's probably feels like the toughest I've faced, or Rabada. I think those two are very, very good bowlers. Probably the two best seamers I've faced.
And then last question, we'll go. This one is for Tom and Sam, and it is from Alf. And Alf says, and we'll go all three. Alf has actually specifically asked this to Sammy, but we'll go all three. Just and I'll say that I'll get you to give me two names here. Once when you were growing up watching the game, and once now you're playing the game. Who's your favourite player? Who's your favourite player growing up, and who's your favourite player now? Sammy.
Favourite players. Growing up, I probably loved watching guys like Mitchell Johnson bowl, Adam Gilchrist bat, like Ricky Ponting. All the best players are always your favourite players. Now I'd probably say anyone who's winning games for the team and my team probably. I wouldn't say I have a favourite player, but it's always cool to play against the big names and test yourself against the really big names in the game. So I wouldn't say I have one at the moment, but anyone who's really good and you can learn from, I'd say.
Ollie, growing up.
I think I really like watching Adam Gilchrist back in the day. I used to keep more than I do now. So any keeper batters, him, AB de Villiers, said him enough. And yeah, now similar. I think it's hard to say. There's always changing. We're lucky enough to play with Stokes. He's obviously one of the best, if not the best, in the world at the moment. So he's pretty cool to watch.
And Tom, he's either disappeared or he's just switched his camera off.
He just texted me saying his batteries have just gone. The iPad gone off.
Oh, okay. So Sammy, you can answer on Tom's behalf. Who do you think?
I reckon Tom really liked Brett Lee when he was growing up. Loved watching Brett Lee, Dale Steyn. I don't know who's his favourite player now is, but Stokesy's not a bad one to play with.
No, indeed. Well, look, guys, thank you so much for giving up your time. And just Sammy, tell everyone when they need to tune in and watch you over the next few days. Yeah,
well, great. It's been great speaking to you guys. All the best for what you got. Go enjoy your half term, and I play against Kolkata Knight Riders tomorrow evening. So we actually are unfortunately knocked out at the minute, but hopefully we can finish with 2 games strong. I think we obviously play against Owen Morgan tomorrow night, Andre Russell, some big names. So I've got training probably in an hour or so. So go to training and train hard, practice hitting lots of sixes, and hopefully I can do it tomorrow. But I look forward to hopefully seeing all you guys at the Oval next summer for some T20 blast.
And Ollie, just let us know what's going on with you. Obviously, the next few weeks, it's all about that shoulder rehab, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Few more months of shoulder rehab, and then hopefully the test tours go ahead in January. I think Sri Lanka and India we're due to play, so fingers crossed that goes ahead, and fingers crossed I can get fit for that. But no, if not, like Sam said, hopefully see you guys down if we can sort this COVID situation out at the Oval next summer for some T20 nights, which will be good fun.
That's brilliant. And guys, anyone who wants to come off mute now and just shout thank you to the guys, feel free. There's lots of thank yous in the chat room, so thank you for that. But yeah, anyone who wants to hit that shout thank you, then let's give them a good sound.
Thank you, Tom, Sam, and Ollie.
No worries,
guys.
Pleasure. Boy's getting nippy now.
Give Life of Jackson a follow on Instagram.
Yeah, he needs it. Get him to 1,000. He keeps probably going to give me a broken hand.
Thanks so much, guys.
Cheers,
Thank you.
See ya.
Appreciate the club, and we'll see you at the Kia Oval as soon as possible. Take care of yourselves and have a great half term. Bye.